Imagine if Vico Soto, imagine if our President Duterte actually was playing Cities Skylines, tapos ito yung mga lumalabas na tweets dun sa internet, and then he's gonna enact policies to curb these tweets. Good day everyone, this is Jason914 and I am back with another video. So for today, I'm going to be playing a game called Cities Skylines. It's a game where you basically take control as a mayor of a city, but you're gonna start the city from scratch. And based on that, you're going to plan the city out, lay out some policies, and basically guide the city from having zero population to something that has quite a lot. I've always used City Skylines as a way for me to have an outlet whenever I have frustrations, I guess, about the way that Manila or the Philippines is being run. Also has something to do with the COVID-19 pandemic and the way LGUs have been responding, and I felt that I kind of want to simulate what it's like to basically run a city. And of course, for this particular build, I'm gonna use Pasig City because that is the LGU or the city that kind of inspired me, I guess, to try a game where you basically plan a city out. Okay, so this is what we're given in terms of the city layout. It's a fairly central island actually, and then you have lots of trees here, and unfortunately it's basically all trees, so we have no choice but to cut down a few portions of that forest in order to expand our industry. This is my technique, by the way. I put the road and then I remove the road, and that gives me access to the other things that you can find in City Skylines. So the first thing I'll do is to put a roundabout. When you're coming off a highway entrance like this, it's very ideal to put a roundabout at the end for the simple reason that they don't have a traffic light. So at the very least, cars can flow into this roundabout pretty freely. I think I'll expand the avenue to go a little bit in this area over here. This is where the residential area should be. I'll put it around here, and then I'm gonna put the curved road going from here. Okay, I'm gonna go that way, and I'm gonna connect it to this point. And I think I'm gonna start with a central area here that goes like this, okay? Something like that, and then I'm going to connect that as a sort of curve. This is where my OCD comes in, but it's all for the better, so you could appreciate the city layout a little bit more. Okay, so now that we have something like this, I'm going to go and expand out the sides. There we go. I'll put the commercial area in this central area here. Okay, I'll do that. And I think I'm going to put the residential here. Now, I'm going to avoid connecting this all the way there because I don't want my highway entrance to be all clogged up. Okay, there we go. I won't put there yet, but I will put here. I can put some residential areas here. And the central area, there's no demand for it yet, but I'm going to put commercial area in the middle because I think the idea here is you want the residential area to be spread out like so, and you want them to converge towards this point, which is near the main road. So I think that means when we do eventually end up putting public transportation in this city, it's going to be well laid out. You have to think in advance in this game, okay? So this is all laid out, but the one thing that we have to do would be a power source. Can we do wind? Let's try wind. Is there a place here where we can put some wind? 5 megawatts? Hindi, wala talaga eh. Di sulit mag-wind eh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to do coal. Sorry guys, I know I teach you sustainability and I teach you about having less pollutions, but yeah, we have to start with coal. I mean, most towns in history anyway started with coal, so we'll go with that. This will be like the industrial area, that's why I made it an avenue, okay? And from here, I'm going to expand out. In the industrial area, I want to put a little bit of space for the simple reason that it is highly possible that the industry could burn down, and I don't want that to happen. I want the buildings to be a little bit more spaced out when it comes to industry. And I don't want like a big pollution hole in my area just spewing a lot of smoke. So let's get my power source. Let's use coal. I'm going to delete this eventually, but I think given our start, we're forced to use coal power plant. Okay, and I'm going to connect this. Let's go to the central area here. I think that's a good place to go. There we go. Now, the next thing to do is to put water source. And I know the tempting thing is to use this and use the river, but when you put so much of this water pumping station, eventually the rivers will pretty much dry up. I will lay down the pipes as organized as possible along the road, just to be realistic to real life. Okay, I'll extend this way as well, just because we have some houses here. And then the other important thing is a sewage pipe. Yeah, let's just try the inland water treatment plant, because I haven't really tried this yet. I think I'll put it right next to our power station, just because it's one of the important utilities that I want. Now you have a water treatment plant, you have the power station. I think we're ready to go, except one more thing. Let's put the cost down to 0, and that should be enough. Because we don't have any houses yet, so at least that will keep the cost down while we're trying to make ourselves sustainable. Okay, so I think we're ready to go and press play. Let's do it. Let's just fast forward it, just so the houses will kind of settle a little bit. Local power plant online, yay! I think we're doing pretty well in the fact that we're getting the cost down slowly. That's the goal. I think the sweet spot is you're given $70,000 to spend. The idea is to try to get that down to $20,000 in building your first roads and power plant. And at least we can see that we're starting to hit that goal. It's coming down slowly, but our industrial level is rising. We need a bit of industry going as well. So with that, let us build some industry. I will reserve the first few slots over here. This bit here I will reserve for the utilities, and then the next row is where I will put my industry. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put the industry here like so. Yeah, that's good enough. And then I'm just gonna make sure I put the correct pipeline serving the road. Okay, so we have our residential area all filled up, which is pretty good. The industry is building up as well, which is also good. Okay, the industrial demand is pretty big though. I think I need to put another set of industrial areas. So I'm going to go ahead and make this industrial as well, but without forgetting to expand my pipe network like so. So I think we're finally turning a profit, which means that we're starting to reach a sustainable level in terms of the city. Our residential demand is growing, but I think we still have houses, if I'm not mistaken. Not so much. So I'm gonna put a bit more houses over here, in this wing over here. Let's put some houses down this road. There we go. But yeah, we're turning a profit, which is good. Okay. So that's a technique, by the way. If you're starting out Cities Skylines and you always have problems in terms of making profits, one thing that you could do would be to basically get the cost down for a bit and just remember the $20,000 sweet spot. Okay, spend as much, but don't go below 20. Don't go below 20,000, because at least it gives you a bit of leeway when it comes to there. But I was surprised actually that I was able to manage fairly well in terms of my expenses here. So have we got the areas filled up? Now they really want me to expand, but unfortunately it's nighttime and I really can't see much. We know there's a forest here. I think the best way to expand would be down this area. Let's put the houses down and then connect my pipelines. Actually, you don't need to, but I just want to make sure that I'm covered so that when we do a citywide expansion, we're set. But as I think you can kind of see, the layout of my city is pretty much turning out pretty well, because we have a main road. Traffic goes from the main highway down to this roundabout, and it's pretty organized. The industry is here, meaning the factory trucks can go straight to the highway without having to pass the residentials. And if you need to go to the residential area, that's no problem as well, because all you have to do is go down the other side of this highway and you're in a very wide enough avenue to accommodate that. The power is pretty much down there because we've exceeded the limit, so I'll raise it up to 60% just so we're still able to cope with the power demand. Okay, and there we go. We've achieved our first achievement, which is Little Hamlet. We have a population of 380. So it's actually pretty appropriate for this time, because in the time of COVID-19, we have healthcare issues. And the first thing that was unlocked is healthcare, elementary school, recycling centers, and whatnot. Okay, so I think I'll wrap up this first City Skyline episode right here. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys take care. Troubling times lie ahead, especially with what's happening with our country right now. Let's just all keep safe. Let's all pray, and let's have the faith that we will get through this. So So bye-bye. Take care. Stay at home.